Welcome to Subramani. I was just having a fantasy that if God came and gave us vision maybe in December 2019 and told us that by March 2020 a Chinese virus will attack the whole world, a lot of people will die, including in developed countries like US and Europe and Japan. Older people will be impacted first, but yes, more than maybe 200,000 Americans will die, Indians will die, and people all over the world will die, and it will be causing huge panic. Everybody will be asked to stay at home, schools will be shut, and except for essentials, which would all be shuttered down, right? And companies would not be allowed to work because people will not be allowed to assemble in one place, and that is the best way to keep the flu away, as it had happened during the Spanish flu. This was supposed to be, the isolation was the only thing which worked, and therefore the question is, where do you think the market would be in March 2020, June 2020 and September 2020? Chances are, I would have said, forget what you would have said, I would have said market would be down 50%. No chance of a business revival, no chance of anything happening. We have no clue when the vaccine will be found, right? Nothing is known. I think the market would be down 50%. So assuming for a minute that you thought the market would be down, the most important thing to do is to sell, fairly obvious. But what actually happened was, yes, in March 2020 in the Indian markets there was sell-off. There was sell-off in the US market also. June also was not too great, but by September, October the market was at an all-time high. The market had actually recovered. I don't think the total impact was more than 20% or 24% or something like that when the fall happened. But the recovery was pretty fast. It was a real V-shaped recovery, at least far as the indices are concerned. So all those people who sat in March 2020 thinking that, oh God, this virus is terrible, it's going to take a big toll, many people are going to die, so we should sell, they were right. Market did tank, but the question is, how quickly did they get back? Or some of us with dull and boring portfolios said, okay, but doesn't really matter, we will continue to buy what we like, and those shares might give us good returns. So some of us did that, and some of us panicked and sold, right? So that is what would have happened, because even though we had God had given me this gift of perfect vision of what is going to happen in March 2020, with the caveat that he said, I will not tell you what is going to happen in the market, right? So with all the data in our hands and in our heads, the first thing we would have said is the market will tank 50%, which was a very fair assumption. The market did tank, but not 50%, and the market recovered very quickly, because along with the pandemic came the fact that Nasdaq was actually, I remember at point in time in 2020, Nasdaq was 10% higher, right? Because companies like Zoom and Netflix obviously boomed, because people said, oh, nothing else to do, let us watch movies. There is nothing else to do, let us open an account with Robinhood. Zerodha was not yet up and running, right? Or it was there, but it was not really big. But then the ICICI Securities and HDFC Securities, who were already there, obviously benefited more than those who started. But yes, Zerodha very quickly ramped up, right? So therefore its revenues went up. So these kind of things are almost impossible for us to predict with just the facts of what is going to happen on the ground. Because of this, what is the impact on the market is impossible for people to gauge. So therefore, again, let me, at the cost of repetition, let me say, so the dull and boring SIP, the dull and boring buying good shares which are valued well, just because there is some pandemic coming down, that is a good reason to buy. But let me also tell you, if the market had not recovered for whatever reasons, if the market had remained down for maybe 6 months, 7 months more, 10 months more, maybe it would have resulted in more panic, maybe stoppage of SIPs, etc. We do not know how people will react to a 6-7 month fall in the market, right? So 3-month fall, we saw that people were told, oh, you should double your SIP, you should put more. All that is bravado, but if the down market lasts longer, people may not be able to sustain it mentally and physically. They may not be able to sustain it, right? So no economist or anybody could have predicted what would have happened to the market in 2020. We all thought, oh, the market is going to be finished. Some of us were lucky that in March 2020 we had cash maybe sold in January, February, so that cash was available to be reinvested. My logic in March 2020 was, whatever is the problem, humankind does recover. So they will throw money at it, they will throw people at it, they will incentivize, but somebody will find the vaccine, right? So it didn't really matter. US cut interest rates, I think 2 trillion is the size of the package that they announced. All that happened. So some investors may have got lucky that they sold in February, and in March they were sitting on cash which they could deploy, and they did deploy, right? So some of it is luck, some of it is you were swimming, there was a crocodile swimming next to you. Well, the crocodile didn't bother about you, that's it. But can you say there was no crocodile? That is not true, because aerial shot shows there was a crocodile next to you, but it did not bother about you. Or there was a whale next to you, or there was some shark next to you, but didn't bother about you. It was swimming along. So some people can exploit all these advantages of coming in, coming out, buying, selling. Some hedge fund managers can do that. Somebody can leverage and invest more, could have leveraged and invested more in March 2020. Even if you did not sell, you have done well. People like me got lucky that I had cash, and of course I don't leverage. So I bought in March 2020, and some of those shares have done extremely well. 5-bagger, 7-bagger, 8-bagger, right? That kind of a return is what it has given. But that is the ability to make out the difference between skill, luck and patience is lost. I have no clue how much of it is my skill, how much of it is my luck, and how much of it is my patience. Yes, it's a combination of all the three. Can I duplicate my luck? Answer is no. Can I duplicate my skill? Yes. Can I duplicate my patience? Answer is yes. But I have been lucky enough not to need money for whatever reasons during bad times. So that is luck, right? Or there is insurance that I did not lose my job or things like that, which would have forced me to sell from my portfolio. I have never had to sell from my portfolio. So right, so some of that is luck, some of it is skill, some of that is patience, right? So I think if you are looking at creating wealth in the long term, look at asset allocation, see how much you are kept in equity, don't withdraw in a position of duress. You should have adequate insurance for various kinds. Once you do all this, the wealth creation process is easy. But to think that you can know the market perfectly and be able to predict what is going to happen and therefore invest according to that, which means making those tactical changes, yes, maybe with a small portion of your money, yes, with a full portfolio, tactical changes seems to be impossible. Thank you.